Now, he's on his way to The Hague. He's on his way, of course, to the Netherlands. Of course, you're well and truly aware of how the Europeans like to do things. Any last-minute advice about what it's like to swan around with one of the ultimate versions of the political swamp?
Yeah, I think, quite honestly, when you saw the G7 the other week that he left early, it left the leaders of the European Union sort of, flapping around a bit like fish who've just been taken out of water. He has no great love. He has no great love for the European Union whatsoever. But he might well have a nice word to say to the German Chancellor, who at least was supportive of what the Israelis and Americans have done. As for President Macron, well, he basically has said that the American attacks were illegal, and he's on the verge of recognising, Palestine, which would be a reward to Hamas. So I think if Donald Trump and Emmanuel Macron are in a room together, you'll hear some more of the juicy language we just heard as he was boarding the aeroplane.
Correct. Both of them speaking French, one that's audibly available to us who do not speak the native tongue but are aware of certainly what it means. Now, your polls keep getting better, stronger, no surprise there. One poll, I think this was the YouGov poll through Sky News in the UK, has Reform in front of Labor 25-24, Conservatives at 21. An Ipsos poll, much, much better, which has Reform at 34, Labor at 25, the Conservatives back at 15. This is extraordinary. We talk about it week in, week out. And these polls are way beyond fluke. A movement has been built. And as you say, if you want reform, vote reform. And that seems to be where the majority of, people are starting to coalesce around.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, exactly this time last year, Reform didn't have a single MP. Nothing. And yet we are consistently leading in all of the opinion polls, and in some of them we're leading by a lot. Why? Number one, there's a gap in the market. There is a talent gap in the market of an enormous magnitude. Secondly, I'm a known quantity. And thirdly, I have been talking about what damage net zero would do for years. I've been talking about young men, undocumented young males coming into Britain in large numbers, causing problems, especially for British women. And I think, frankly, events over time have proven me right on things. This country wants someone to come in, fix it, and turn the country around. And right now, they're beginning to place their faith in me. And do you know what? And I actually think they're right to, because I'm not afraid. I don't back down, and I know what I believe in.
Yeah, certainly, again, one of the great lefty queens is Jacinda Ardern, the former New Zealand Prime Minister, and she's got a book out and a documentary and all the rest of it as they throw rose petals at her. The only reason she was Prime Minister was because of a vote of a guy called Winston Peters, right? New Zealand First is his political movement. He has done the same to put now the National Party in as the leaders in New Zealand, and he's come out today. And he has spoken very strongly about low-skilled immigration. Put simply, his words, New Zealand has enough Uber drivers.
Yeah, I know Winston very well. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. I've even taken him to the Oval to watch cricket. So Winston and I think very alike. He's never been afraid to say what he thinks matters in New Zealand politics. He doesn't even make much of his own Maori background. He just is what he is. As you say, he has become the modern-day kingmaker in New Zealand politics. And he's right. Low-skilled migration, in the end, costs a country money, and it makes no sense.